All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Melas, but you can call me Eli for short. And who's this lovely lady to my right?
I'm Dawn Ledgerwood, and I'm your girlfriend.
You are Dawn Ledgerwood, and you are my amazing, lovely, highly intelligent girlfriend. You're more intelligent than me.
I wouldn't say that. I would say we both have our own strengths.
We both have our own strengths and weaknesses, and together we come together as a team.
Exactly.
Right?
And we build each other up. And that's what makes us beautiful.
Yes, relationships are about being a team, okay? No one is better than the other. I'm not better than Dawn, she's not better than me, but hey, we don't need to get into that right now, right,
well,
baby?
I'm better looking than you.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. I will give you that. She's better looking than I am.
I'm just joking with you.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. This is episode number 31. And today, we're going to be discussing drowning in a world of endless content. One more time, episode number 31 of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast is about drowning in a world of endless content. And very briefly, before we get to the monologue here, babe, we are drowning in a world of endless content nowadays, aren't we?
Yes. Absolutely.
You seem excited about this topic.
Well, what do I do all day? I watch TV and I'm on my phone. So I get content from YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff, but I'm also getting content overload from all the different streaming networks, that are coming our way and having to make decisions about combining packages and doing all this other stuff. It's overwhelming. It really can be.
It's overwhelming to say the least, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it could be really complicated at times just to follow what these companies are doing. It's not difficult to merge your accounts or anything, but just keeping up with all the different acquisitions of channels and different things, and then how they're going to do it. Are they going to have it be an exclusive, or are they going to have it be where it airs on regular television and then you got to wait a week for it to come onto Peacock or Paramount or whatever it is? So it's it sometimes is it really is just a pain in the ass. And I know I put myself through that every day trying to figure out what I'm going to watch and where I'm going to go. And, and the hardest thing is you see something and you're like, oh, I want to watch that, but it's not a good time for that.
Right.
And then you can't remember what streaming service, or you get a recommendation.
Because there are too many.
Yeah, you get a recommendation for something to watch. And it's like, well, where can I find that? That's the first thing I ask.
Do you remember back in the days where we just had maybe 5 to 10 channels, and then cable came out and we had 30 channels? Today we have 30,000 channels.
Yeah. Like everything, every
and
language.
the mic, baby.
Huh?
The mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Buster just pushed me, the damn dog. But yeah, all the different languages out there, you get all those channels. He gets the Greek channel for his mom. He makes sure that's in. But I know all different ethnicities enjoy having that available here in America. It makes them feel closer to home.
Right. The Greek channels have gone to streaming. Dish Network used to carry them directly on the satellite. Now they've gone to streaming. So it's just been an interesting world. And we're going to get into that.
Well, and that did become a complication because you weren't understanding, you would fix it and then you weren't understanding why she wasn't getting her channels. And there was a process a week or two where you were like, what the hell is going on?
There was a glitch.
And then you figured it out.
There was a glitch in the Dish Network system because a lot of their channels are going to streaming. That's just the way the world is going, but it's been resolved and it's all good now. But before we get into this topic here, as always, baby, it's been another week here at the GNA, short for January Networking Association. It's been another interesting week, and we've just been plugging away and preparing for an amazing 2026, which is right around the corner.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, the year goes so fast. Once you hit like October, the year's over. It's like, because you think, oh, I'm going to start Christmas shopping now so I can get ahead of it. Nobody does. I mean, there are some people that do that are very responsible. But no, they go, oh, wait, no, I have 2 more months, And then the last thing you know, they're out there December 24th buying all their gifts,
Right.
It's just a crazy world out there. But yeah, no, this week has been pretty good for myself. Just on my end, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I did see my doctor, and she has released me to be able to start driving. Now, that doesn't mean I'm turning out and I'm like roaming the town, driving around. No, there's a process I have to go through,
right,
getting the DMV to release based on what the doctor says. So we still have paperwork and then and fees, which are going to come. So
absolutely.
So it's
fees,
a process.
Key word.
Yeah. So
key phrase. I mean,
we probably have a few months before we do that, and then we were just basically waiting for clearance. Once we got that, now we're going to work on the next step. So I am pleased to announce that I am progressing very well. And I do owe a lot of this to Eli, but I worked my butt off too. So I give a lot of credit to myself. So, but anyways, rest of the week was pretty good. Otherwise, the frustrating streaming service that I've had to deal with. And, yeah, but no, dogs have been great. I've been feeling good. I think this week was a lot less stressful for Eli. I kind of noticed a shift in his demeanor. Yeah. He was a lot calmer this week.
Well,
not running around because last week you had to do that upgrade, and that was taking some time.
Oh, let me explain that real quick. Do you mind? So, last week on Tuesday, October 14, 2025, was the end of service, end of life. Well, not end of life, but, it was the last day to get free support for Windows 10. And I've been running Windows 10 for a long time. Windows 11, I believe, has been out now for about 3 years. I found out actually, pro and home users can actually extend service updates, meaning that, what do you call it? Critical updates to protect your system for the next year by opting in and creating a Microsoft account and doing all that. But you're not going to get any new feature updates or anything like that. So I finally, I was planning this for a while. I upgraded to Windows 11, and we're actually recording this with my configuration on Windows 11, which is pretty much the same thing as Windows 10. The just to let everyone know, the update was pretty seamless. It didn't take too long. I had to, reinstall some drivers because I have some older drivers on my laptop that work better with the configuration of this, of my streaming, platform that I use. I use open broadcast software, and I have a bunch of virtual audio cables and stuff that I use to put this show together. And a lot of the newer drivers, although they technically work, they're glitchy. They have pops and cracks and static. And I was able to configure it back to the way it was with Windows 10, and everything is running pretty much perfectly. We're going to see how this turns out once we record it. I did a lot of testing beforehand.
Yeah.
So,
we were going to start recording a few hours ago, but he's been twerking and tweeting all these things on there and making it absolutely perfect for you guys and for us. Makes it a lot easier.
Well, I'm about quality. I'm about putting out quality audio and video. and just want to make it as easy and painless as possible for people to consume our content. If you have crappy, shitty audio or grainy video, for the people that are watching us on the YouTube side of things, but if you have crappy audio, even the people in the audio only podcast world are not going to want to hear the podcast. And a lot of people listen to podcasts while they're driving through their Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and they want to hear clean audio to keep them company while they're driving. So you want to make sure it's all flowing smoothly. But again, you got to take the plunge and update your stuff. And if you have an older laptop that cannot be upgraded or older desktop that can't be upgraded to Windows 11, it's time to get a new computer. So that is that. There are some other options. Like I said, you can extend, the service updates for another year. And if you're a business, you can do it for up to 3 years by paying for it. But it's really time to take the plunge. And listen, I'm one of the most honest people on the internet. I know it sounds kind of, how do I say this the right way? Humbly speaking, it's, anyone can say they're honest and people will say, yeah, right. But I have a history of honesty, and I'm not going to tell you folks something that isn't true. Windows 11 does work. I'm on the latest version, 25H2. It seems to not be buggy. It's smooth. Take the plunge and, update. But anyway.
Yeah, I was just going to say on that, I was always taught growing up, it's your quality versus your quantity. So if you get this done and it's right, then you don't have to keep doing it over and over again to make it right. You save your time and you save your money. And that is something my dad has instilled in me in life. Yeah. And, I just came up with a thought because I've been thinking of tattoos that I want to do that represent my mom and my dad. I'm going to get that tattooed on me for my dad, I think.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
It just came to my brain right now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that's why you're my lady.
I know. I'm spontaneous that way.
You're the brains of the operation, baby.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you're the brains.
That's
and
safe
the beauty.
to say here.
I just handle the tech and all that shit, right?
Yes.
Anyway, I love you. I said I love you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I love you too.
Well, delayed reaction there, man.
I thought you were just saying you love me.
You can definitely tell our shows are not scripted when you tell your girlfriend
I zoned out. I'm sorry.
That you love her and she just sits there like a deer in headlights.
I zoned out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's that's
I do that sometimes when Eli's talking.
It's all good. Before we get to the topic here, you're absolutely right. I think when we've talked about this before, your dad is like me. He'll pay a little more money to get the job done right the first time, regardless of whatever he is that he's fixing or setting up, right? It's always going to be more beneficial cost-wise, and, whatever you're, spending more money to create or fix initially, is also going to last longer. So you're looking at quality work is going to save you money in the long run, and it's going to last longer, which saves you time. And we all know time is money, right?
Yes.
And so, don't cheapify things and take extra time to get things done right. So that way it's set. Just like I set up my system with Windows 11 in the same way as Windows 10. It did take, 2 or 3 full, 5 to 10 hour days of tweaking shit and all that. But now it's all set. Now I don't have to worry about it in the future, and it's all good in the hood. So
yeah, and my dad,
quality over quantity also as well.
Yes, and how my dad really put this to use was in his business. He would go and he would bid a job, and he would say, you know what? This is probably higher than any other bid you've gotten, but I will get this done in a timely manner. I will get it done right the first time, so that the only other time you have to call me is for another project.
Absolutely.
He's like, I don't want to come back and fix something. I want to come back and beautify your house more.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, he's lived by that for his whole life, and it's worked out very
saves him
well.
Time and money. If he doesn't do the job right the first time, he has to go back and fix it for free, which is going to cost
him
his
money,
time, gas, more materials, and all of that. So, amen. I love your dad's a phenomenal guy.
And then, you lose trust with your customers if you don't get it done. Yep. So, yeah, carry on now.
And when you do a good job, you get referrals. People refer you out, even though your dad's retired now.
But
when he was working the business that he owned and still owns, even though he's retired. I'm sure your dad, will still do some odd and end types.
Oh, actually not. No. My dad is done.
Your dad is done?
Yeah, he put the nail in the coffin there.
But he'll still do stuff around the house.
Around the house.
He'll do.
He's not going to hire anybody to come.
Instead of paying someone, he'll do that himself still, right? That's what men do.
But he doesn't do it for anybody else. That's the thing. He's not going to go out and do it for anybody else.
Okay.
And because he's put his time in, I mean, like I said, he's 70 years old.
Mm-hmm,
he retired 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 years to the day of his birthday that he retired. So he hasn't been retired very long, but he still gets phone calls from referrals that, he'll go in or people will go in and be like, oh, where'd you get that work done?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was Ledgerwood tile. Oh, okay. I'm going to go ahead and give him a call.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, he has to turn people down, but then he turns around and gives another reference,
A referral.
A referral, yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing, but you know what I'm saying.
Same thing, but I've been an entrepreneur for a while. It's actually a referral.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of paying it forward, and it all works out well in the end.
That's a topic we need to do. I haven't done it in a while. Paying it forward is the most amazing concept. It's about the law of reciprocity. The more and more and more and more you give without expectation, you're going to get back, a lot in return in the long run.
And don't mistake that for you giving and giving and giving. No, you have to have it in your mind that you're giving something without any expectations that is going to come back to you.
That's called give to give, not give to get.
And even a thank you. You can't even expect a thank you from people at times.
It'd be nice.
It would be nice
it's common
and polite.
Courtesy,
yes.
But that doesn't exist in the modern world.
Well,
huh?
yeah.
Baby. Common courtesy and common decency went out the window. I'm not going to say when a certain something happened, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, we are definitely not going to classify any generations for that.
You knew exactly where I was going with this.
I read your mind 24/7.
I'm not going to blame any particular generation that I constantly talk about. But yeah.
No, because you know what? I want you to get off of the millennials because so
you mentioned it.
Yeah, because we need to get more, give more attention to Gen Z and how they're affecting our world today.
Oh, Gen Z and then the new Alpha generation.
Well, they're not quite into affecting.
I think they're like 13 or 14 and
they're not really affecting the world yet. They're just learning.
Oh, but they're going to.
They're going to.
They're going to.
And we should really talk about how Gen Z is going to influence the Alpha generation.
And now, over the last week, this No Kings rally was happening, where people were, peacefully protesting and saying that Trump is the problem, and Trump needs to go.
That was fantastic.
I was. When was it? I think it was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, it wasn't last night. It was 2 nights ago.
It was Friday. Oh, yeah. It was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. So I was driving on the way to my walk, and I saw a few people that had signs saying, the issues start with Trump, remove Trump, or something like that. And I felt like just rolling down my window and saying, "Amen, brother. Amen, sister." But I kept my fucking mouth shut.
You should have just honked.
Well, you know what?
That's what people do on the freeway.
I didn't know what it was. And then because I've been so busy, I don't always get a chance to pay attention to the news right away. I try to, right? But when I saw the news later on that evening, I watched some great channels on YouTube, like the Midas Touch Network with Ben Meiselas and his brothers, and
Even
then
Brian.
and then Brian Tyler Cohen. You like him? He's an actual smart millennial man, mid-30s. He's a progressive YouTuber, down the middle, but more leaning a little bit left. He's more about what's right. And same thing with Ben Meiselas on the Midas Touch Network. I saw all these No Kings protests all over the country. And even they even said in New York, around the Times Square area, there were more people there for this than on New Year's Eve.
Than on New Year's Eve.
And that's like the biggest event in the country is bringing the New Year in New York,
in Times Square.
At Times Square, because that's the Eastern time zone. That is the first time zone that enters the New Year, and that's where the Statue of Liberty is at, and all of that.
I'm getting goosebumps. That it's just I could be very patriotic at times, and that just really gave me goosebumps.
Well, that's nice that you're patriotic at times, baby. I like to try to be patriotic all the time, but it's really difficult in this.
Well,
during these times where we have
these 4 years.
Well, where we have an authoritarian type of president in office. Basically, he's like a dictator, in my opinion. But anyway,
well, that's what the whole Three Kings was all about. Is they were calling him out as a dictator.
The Three Kings.
Yeah, they were.
What are the Three Kings?
Remember, we talked about as oligarchs. The king.
Oh, you're talking about the No Kings.
Yeah. Oh, the No Kings. Yeah.
It wasn't Three Kings. It was the No Kings, meaning that, this is about, stopping oligarchy, where all of the rich people like Trump and Bezos and Zuckerberg and our favorite buddy, Mr. Musk. Right? We're joking about that.
Mr. Musk.
We're not a fan of Musk because he's now on Twitter X, and he's intentionally saying stupid shit because outrage and controversy bring him in more people, which gets him more ad revenue, right?
And you know what? He's starting to, this is all coming together. I've always said, before he even got into this big thing with Trump, I'm like, he kind of looks like an alien. And now
a space alien?
Yeah. And I'm like, now it all makes sense. He named his son X, and it's Twitter X. And there's something else that he's done with an X.
SpaceX.
SpaceX.
All his companies are like that.
Yeah. It's like, I think they're from Planet X.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just being funny right now. I mean,
no, you're right. You're absolutely right. But yeah, it's been an interesting week with lots of things happening. But before we get to the topic here, we got to get into it. We're already 23 minutes into the show. Before we get into it, I just have to say that I'm really excited about the new year. For the GNA here, short for January Networking Association. And whether you're listening to us throughout the audio-only podcast network, such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite.
Oh,
iHeartRadio.
I'm sorry, does Pandora do that as well?
I don't know if Pandora does it. I'll look into it, and if they do, I will add them to the RSS feed. That's the really simple syndication feed for podcasts.
Yeah, I just saw that app on my phone, and I was like, oh, I don't think we have them on Pandora.
Yeah, I'll take a look because, the more places you can get it out there, the better chance we have of people finding us. And if you're listening to us audio only, you can go below in the description and you can click the link for that same exact episode. That'll, take you to the video version on our YouTube channel, and then you can subscribe to that YouTube channel while you're there. It's on our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. And then when you go in the description section of that podcast, the video version of our podcast, a couple lines down is the link to our secondary channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we do live streams, if not every day, almost every day. I do Walking with Purpose streams. Sometimes we do streams from the studio that kind of will look similar like this podcast does. We use the same studio and same open broadcast software, but instead of it being pre-recorded, it's actually live, and we have an audience to engage us. But or to engage, actually, not to engage us, to engage. I don't want to sound selfish. We're here to engage the audience, and they'll engage us back in return. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. but
I say that word way too much.
Yeah, it's okay. But I'm really feeling good about a major shift towards positivity starting. Well, we want to start it immediately now.
Well, yeah, we're actually starting it right now, but there's going to be a big launch of our positivity in 2026. I think that's what he's leading up to, is the excitement, is that, yeah, we're always on positivity. That's what we always been about.
And let me make it clear that positivity is not boring. People think if there's no controversy or drama or somebody talking shit about somebody on the internet, or making something up, to entertain their audience, right? Positivity is not boring. We're making positivity fun. And I can promise you folks, if you join our network here, there's no obligation. You can donate if you want, but you don't have to. You can just come and hang out for free. We are monetized on YouTube, and we will get some ad revenue, which,
always helps.
We got to get paid somehow, but, we want people to come join us because it's a safe place of positivity. And we want to help people, figure out what their purpose is so they can accomplish whatever their hearts desire, personally and professionally. Find the right person to share your life with. Find the right career for yourself, whether it's being self-employed or working in the corporate workforce, or as a W-2 or salaried employee. Or if you want to transition from that into becoming an entrepreneur, we can help you with that, because we've been through that. I have been through that. I know exactly what it takes, and we're going to give it to you straight. And, for the most part, we don't charge, we just, ask that you come to our videos, make comments and like the videos, on the YouTube end of things, come to our live streams and engage. And hey, if you want to support the organization further, you have options like super chats and super stickers, super thanks on the live stream replays and pre-recorded videos. And Cash App and PayPal. That all goes to the organization. Yes, obviously we're doing this as our main job, our main career. So obviously it's going to be part of our salary, but a big chunk of the donations will also be reinvested back into the organization to better serve you folks. What are your thoughts about that before we move forward, babe?
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I think, positivity can be fun, and the topics that you bring up cause people to interact in the, what is that called? In the comment section. And engage in the comments.
It draws them in to engage with us.
Engage with us and engage with the topic.
Correct.
And then they can share their own situations and experiences, which creates a conversation between Eli and that watcher.
We want to create a conversation.
Yes.
Right.
And then once that's done, if that person wants to connect with us off the whole spectrum of comments and whatnot, they could always email Eli, or, reach out to you via email is the best way.
Email's in every description section of where this podcast is at, eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. In the new year, I've also purchased the gnanetwork.org and gnanetwork.com domains. In the new year, all of the GNA executives and people that are working closely with us will have a gnanetwork.org email. It's much shorter than typing out genuinenetworkingassociation.com. Just put whatever, like Elias Melas or Elias M at gnanetwork.org instead of Elias Melas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. So I've thought about all that, and I've got it all set. I have the domains. I've had them for a little while now. I'm just going to have it all set by the new year, and we're going to give you folks many ways to connect with us. Don will have an email, but I'm just making it very clear to anyone that is thinking about trolling Don or trolling anyone of the
I'll just hit delete.
That have emails that get our emails. Sorry, let me say this quick. If anyone is thinking about trolling Don or any of our other executives or people that get a gnanetwork.org email, I'm going to be monitoring those. I'm not going to be looking into the emails, but I'll be monitoring them to make sure that, they are safe.
And all of us will be aware.
And you'll be blocked.
Yeah, you will then immediately be blocked. But that way we are letting all the communication's going to come back, and Eli's going to make the ultimate decision if the person needs to be blocked. But you know what?
I can only do that because I have access to the server where I can go in there and block
but
it.
I'm saying that if somebody wants to come at me, talk about me, you're going to be blocked immediately. I do not need his permission for that.
No,
I will just tell him, block them.
Absolutely.
And it's done. So we're just putting it out there. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a waste of your time. Use your time more wisely.
Use your time wisely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it.
Absolutely. All right, babe. You ready to get into this?
Well, you know what I always want to do right before we start, so we can get through a good portion, is I take my first break after the monologue, and then I can get through.
Okay.
Most of
by
the
way,
next
baby, we have our
pumpkins.
Our pumpkin patch here as our background today because Halloween is right around the corner.
Yeah, it is definitely Halloween season. I have a Halloween dress on, but y'all can't see it because it's down below. But yeah, I'm very excited about this time of year. It is the beginning of the holiday season, which is always fun. I love gathering with family. Some people dread it and get drunk or whatever. But you know what? I never had to do that. I've always enjoyed just spending time with my family. I'm not going to say we didn't drink. Yeah, Thanksgiving we would have wine, but it wasn't a necessary thing for me to go to this function that I had to be drunk. I really enjoy family.
Absolutely.
And I really enjoy Eli's family as well. They have welcomed me in and just made me feel so loved and like the family. So I've got 2 great families now.
Yeah, I just noticed for a second, for some reason.
Am I delayed?
No, I have it set to where it's all in sync, and that got off sync for a few. So if anyone notices our lips off sync for a few, I'm still testing things out for Windows 11, but for the most part, it's working fine. But anyway, Dawn's going to take her first break right now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off.
Hold on, baby. Let them see my dress. Okay, guys. See, I've got my cute little Halloween dress on.
She does, and it looks fantastic. All right, time to turn on. Let me turn off the camera here. All right, so while Dawn is taking her first break, I want to remind you all that if you're listening to us on the audio-only podcast network, such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite, like she mentioned a few minutes ago, iHeartRadio. We're also on Amazon's Audible. We're on YouTube's Music, and we're also on the rest of the less popular or less known audio-only podcast networks. You can do a Google search for Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, and you'll find us where we're at. Typically, iHeartRadio comes up towards the top. We really like iHeartRadio. We like them all, but my lady's a big fan of iHeart, and so am I. And they were one of the first ones that were doing podcasts before podcasting became as popular as it is today. So if you're on the audio-only network, go in the description section of wherever you're seeing this or listening to this, audio-only, and you'll see the link to our YouTube version of the same podcast. That'll take you back to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. While you're there, make sure you subscribe and you bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. And then make sure you go below the description section of our video version of the podcast. A couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where I go live, if not every day, almost every day, typically about 350 out of the 365 days out of the year. I do a Walking with Purpose stream where we have a topic, but it's also informal. People can ask questions in the chat, and we can talk about current events. We can talk about anything that you're struggling with, and give you our advice and our feedback, regarding how we handled a similar situation you may be going through. So make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select the notifications there on that channel, both channels. And sometimes we do live streams from the studio on the GNA2 channel, and Don joins me at times through many various different types of live streams. And Don and I are also going to start doing some more pre-recorded content in the new year. Are you ready to come back?
1 second.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. I think we're back in sync. Yeah, it looks like we are in sync.
Yay!
I'll be checking periodically. That's why I clap my hands and point, because I can see the delay on my screen, which lets me know that we're in sync. I have a lot of buffers on my audio, virtual audio cables and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to explain to the average everyday user, but this is a pretty sophisticated, setup here. So I have to make sure it's running properly, even while we're recording or even when we're doing live streams.
I'm glad you explained that, because I didn't think of how that looks of you just randomly clapping.
See, when I'm on the screen here and I clap, you'll see a delay.
Yeah.
You see like a short delay.
Yeah.
It's like a 300 millisecond delay because my virtual audio cables are set at a 300 millisecond delay. That means basically 0.3 of a second. It's pretty quick. But the reason why you do that is you have a buffer, and that if any glitches happen, the buffer corrects that before it actually goes out. So it basically gives you a buffer. So, your digital audio that's being recorded sounds clean. So that's probably the best way I can explain it, to where most people that don't care about how technology works, as long as it just does what it's supposed to do, they can understand it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
let's get started.
I think we're good. All right. So, okay. First part of the show, I'm going to be asking Dawn some questions regarding drowning in a world of endless content.
That would be great.
We have, and babe, don't take too much time. I have like 25 questions.
Oh, so keep it down. Okay.
Yeah, so basically,
I understand.
Yeah, get to the point quick. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying I want to get through all of these because they're all important. We have
That's funny you say that, because you're the one that never shuts up.
Well, when I set up the show, and we try to do our shows within 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes. We don't want to do it much longer than that, because then it becomes too much to consume. I'm not saying that in the future, when we have other guests, we may not do longer shows or maybe a little bit shorter, but we typically like to keep them around 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I base it. I gauge it based on where we're at as we're doing the show. But anyway, so segment 1 is going to be about awareness and the flood. And let me ask you, babe, when did you first realize the internet never really ends?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I think it started when all the new apps started to develop. Okay. We started with MySpace. Okay. Then we went to Facebook, and MySpace isn't around anymore, really, but Facebook is. But
yeah,
then,
I think MySpace is kind of around, but it's not really used. And
people are over it. But but then we've got all of these other apps on there, and it's just overwhelming at times to keep them all straight and put them all together. Sometimes I see that 2 apps have the same thing, so I have to delete one. It's just, there's so much repetitive stuff going on because these companies acquire other channels or other stations. And, then you're duplicating. You're buying 2 streaming services that are playing exactly the same thing, maybe with a variety of different movies.
Right.
But, it's overwhelming. And like I said, and I'll keep this short, like I said, when you're recommended something, then You have to find out where it is. And then you know what? Then you feel obligated if you don't have it. Ooh, should I sign up for it? Because somebody said this is a really good movie, you know?
Right.
Then you're like pushed. Now you've got all of the streaming services.
Right.
And your cable bill that was once, $120, now you're paying out, $200.
Well, here's the thing. If you get all the streaming services, it's no different than having a cable or satellite subscription.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is I hear people complaining, I got to get Peacock, I got to get, Paramount Plus, I need to get Netflix, I need to get Hulu, I need to get Disney Plus. Well, Disney Plus and Hulu are merging together because Disney owns Hulu.
And that's what I'm saying.
ABC. Right. Well, a lot of them are going to start to consolidate things. But here's the reality of it. Okay. Even if you're paying, let's say around $20 a month for no commercials, you can get the ad-based versions for maybe half the price or a little more than half the price, right?
Yeah.
But I love not having commercials.
So
if you're paying $20 a month for maybe like the top 6 streaming services, let's say Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Max, HBO Max, I keep forgetting,
and Amazon,
the name back, and Amazon, which the standard version, it comes with your Prime subscription for the delivery service. Now you can pay an extra $3 like we have and get no commercials, which that's worth it to me. But even if you get all those, you're looking at what, $120? I mean, what's the difference between that and a basic cable
true
subscription per month? That's
that
what
is
it would cost
true.
you. So the thing is, people are complaining about the pricing, but quite frankly,
they're not breaking it down to see that they're actually saving money.
Well, here's the thing. Without commercials, like you're saving time, you can consume things quicker. If you're eating dinner and you're watching a show, you don't have to, like if you record it on your DVR, you don't have to fast forward through commercials, or in some cases, you won't be able, like if you download stuff like on demand from like a cable or satellite provider, a lot of times they won't let you forward through the commercials. So, you got to look at it from a value standpoint of your time.
Yes.
And again, what's the difference between having a cable or satellite subscription, paying $120 something a month, than getting everything through streaming without commercials?
Yes.
I think that's a better value, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to question 2.
Question 2. How do you tell when you're learning versus just scrolling?
Oh, wow.
That's a loaded question, huh?
Yeah, I think it depends on the sites that you're scrolling on.
Oh.
I mean, I think YouTube, for one, is a lot. You can learn a lot from YouTube. There are a lot of great things that come from YouTube. One time I was at a friend's house. It was 4th of July. And I rode with one of my friends, and her car wouldn't shift from park into reverse. It was stuck.
It was stuck.
And, we're here, and the host, who was my friend's mom, I was like, go get the dad because he can come out here and do that. And she's like, fuck that. I'll just look it up on YouTube. That bitch fixed that in like no time. And she's like, see, I don't need no man.
Everything's on YouTube. Yeah.
Everything is on YouTube. So that's a great learning thing. I think Facebook is just scrolling. It's endless scrolling and a waste of time, which I do.
Well, it's real people with their real name. And a lot of times you get people that are, vomiting their emotional trauma all over Facebook. We've all done it. I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it, baby.
I'm not even just talking about that.
What are you talking about specifically?
I'm talking about being inundated with like the commercials and the ads that you just are scrolling through to see the occasional one that comes from your friend or coworker or family, and I've noticed with my group of friends, I don't have very many complainers on there.
That's
so
good.
It's really good. A lot of my people talk about friendships, like getting together. They talk about sports teams. They cheer them on. It's just really positive. The friends that I have, which is kind of weird that I would have that. And even if I do have toxic people on there, then I can delete them,
Oh,
no
yeah.
problem.
You're in full control.
Yeah.
You're in full control. As long as you don't let people get to you emotionally and suck you into their drama, and then you feel obligated to be a part of that. And let me ask you, the next question is going to segue into that. Why do you think we feel guilty for unplugging? Is it because we feel like
FOMO.
we wouldn't be there, fear of missing out, being there for our friends, right? Go ahead.
Yeah.
FOMO.
Yeah. Even just missing somebody's birthday. It's like, oh crap. Then you go back and send them a "I'm sorry, happy birthday" message, and just all this stuff. It's like sometimes you do get inundated with all the information that all of your people have. Usually you have a small group of people and, you all talk about what's going on in your life. But then when you got 4,000 people talking about what's going on in their life, that could be overwhelming.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think Facebook is more scrolling. I think Instagram is scrolling.
Is too, baby. YouTube has community postings. They've had them for years now. YouTube not only has videos, but they have the scrolling feed. And you're seeing a lot of people use their community walls as attention baiting. Look at me. Oh, this person did this to me. Please help me, donate to me, help rescue me. Right? Go ahead.
Well, a lot of people that are in the community that we're around do that.
Absolutely.
But I do also think I've seen community posts from real people, like celebrities, just actually giving their opinion on something without doing a video on it, like typing something political about how they feel. Now, I've seen that done by many people. I've seen full recipes of meals, desserts, and savory meals, and so I do think that can still be informative. But yeah, you're going to have to scroll through the bullshit to get what information.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
You got to learn to filter stuff out, which is what you're saying. You have to filter shit out.
Yeah, because, you type into YouTube one thing you want to look at, and then it's like everything that's associated
gets
with
recommended to you.
Oh my gosh.
That's the way it works.
I mean, okay, this is kind of gross, but I had looked up because, most girls are like this, but we're obsessed with pimples being popped. So I looked that up one time, and now I've got the most disgusting, crude, like fake content where they're like pushing this so-called cyst out, and it's coming out like green and looking like spaghetti, and like it's like, come on, now people are just taking something that was real. Like I watched Dr. Pimple Popper. That's what it was.
Dr. Pimple Popper, yeah.
Because she's well known here. She does everything medically correct. But then I started getting all of these Asian ones that just were very unclean. And it's like, I don't want these. I just want her,
Last night after you went to bed, I did a search for defamation lawsuits on YouTube. Now I'm getting recommended all these attorneys all over the country here in the U.S. With their thoughts about defamation lawsuits and strategies and stuff like that. So yes, if you search for something, YouTube's recommendation system is going to be like, well, they're looking for this. Let's give them more of what they're looking for and keep them on the platform longer. And once you watch one, then the next recommended one is on the same topic. And that actually makes sense. And trust me, I've
fallen into
I think
that
I
loop.
saw about like 6 defamation videos in a row last night because
I'm glad I was asleep.
Yeah, you were asleep. I certain things that I don't want to bother you on.
Most of the political stuff that he watches, like on YouTube and possibly the News Nation shows, I typically will just get the gist of it and like cliff note it, and then I go to sleep. I don't need all the commentary. Just tell me the story and move on.
Absolutely. Let me ask you the next question, babe. What does rest look like when everything is online 24/7?
Rest?
Yeah. What does rest look like when everything is online 24/7?
When I close my eyes and go to sleep.
Right.
Honestly,
I have a problem with that.
You have a problem because you will wake up and check your phone.
I think I have an addiction.
Yes. You definitely have a
I'm not going to lie. Ain't got a light to kick it, baby.
A blue light addiction there.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah. No, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry. But what I do, I check my phone at night before I go to bed. And then I, shut the light off and I put it on the stand. And sometimes I don't check it until like 10:30 the next morning.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind that wakes up and that's the first thing I look at. The first thing I do is turn the TV on or turn it to the channel I want. Honest to God. And get my meds and my drinks and start the day. Yeah.
So.
And then I'll check it and I'll be like, oh, sorry, Mom. Didn't realize you texted at 8:00. Let me get back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, babe, have we mistaken stimulation for connection?
Yes.
Why?
I think a lot of people before, and maybe I'm not understanding it right, but I think a lot of people before this internet stuff came out was they didn't have a lot of connections with people, like personally. And this gave them the ability to connect with people from high school, family members across the country, college friends that you separated from. And that kind of brings your group back in and makes you feel more connected with what you're interested in and the people you're interested in.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a problem connecting with people online. It's actually a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
But you cannot substitute it for real life and the real world. A lot of people, what I think you were leading towards was there are some people that have completely substituted the real world for the online world, and all of their connections and relationships, including even intimate relationships, are digitally.
Yes.
To where they never meet these people in person, but it's just a way for them to socialize without having to face their fears of being around people in the real world. Maybe in the real world, people see what you actually look like. Maybe your behavior is different. Maybe online you have a script or you're preparing before you talk to people. In the real world, when you face people, you're right there. I mean, if you have a script in front of you, people are going to see that. I think people are afraid to be themselves. I think a lot of people in the modern world that have substituted real life socializing with internet socializing are just afraid of what people are going to think about them in the real world.
Yeah, I've seen that because, when you have friends that you see every day in their real world, but then you see all of the pictures that they post are like filtered and they make you look like nothing like what you really look like, and so you want to talk about real versus not real. If you can go on completely like not naked, but you know what I mean? Like your face without makeup and just go all natural, then that gives you the added confidence just to be yourself and not put the mask on. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my makeup, but it can also be used to like disguise.
You're talking about a figurative mask.
Yes.
Yeah. You're talking about people masking their insecurities and their anxiety, which is why they fear interacting in the real world, and they shift all of their interactions with people online.
But then you run into them at the grocery store and they're in their like jammies and
Yeah, but a lot of them don't even do that. They'll have like DoorDash or Uber or use like all the grocery stores now have their own delivery service. A lot of these people will never leave their fucking home. A lot of them also work from home. So it's like they sit there and they never ever.
They have no reason to leave the house.
They have no reason to leave the house. And then a lot of these people, they gain a lot of weight and they become extremely unhealthy. You become physically unhealthy. When you don't leave the home and interact with people in the real world, you become mentally unhealthy and
you become deficient.
Go ahead.
Deficient of vitamin D, which causes mental issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Vitamin D is crucial in everyday human development.
When we were first helping you overcome the things you dealt with years ago regarding alcohol and all that, you were
and nutrition.
You were and malnourished. You were extremely vitamin D deficient.
Yes.
So it got to the point of where we were giving you 5,000 IU, the extra strength, for a while, and then next thing you know, your doctors took blood and did a screening and said that you got to lower your vitamin D.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so we just give it to you, 3 times a week now instead of 7 times a week.
And if you get outside daily, you wouldn't have to take a supplement.
Correct.
So, and it's best to get it in the natural form.
I walk almost every day. I hate that sun.
Vitamin D is not an issue because even if it's overcast, you're still getting the sun.
Correct.
So that's something I really want to emphasize is for your health. Even if you just get out and take a drive, get outside, stop and have some food and smile at somebody. I want to say earlier today, I got a text message from a number I didn't know, and it says, "Are you free tomorrow?" And I was like, "Who is this?" Because you never know. Sometimes you just don't have their number. And she gave me her name, and she's like, "Do you want to come over for steak and lobster noodles?" I was like, "Fuck, I don't care who you are." Yeah, that sounds great. But I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't know you." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry if I bothered you." And I just said, "No worries. Have a great day." And now she wants to be my friend, like via text. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe she's somebody that doesn't get out, and she's reaching out. And she found somebody that was slightly polite to her. And now she's latched on.
Or it could be a spammer from India pretending to suck you in to try to do something, try to take your money and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be careful with that
she
stuff.
also asked, for my picture. And I said, I don't send pictures online. If you want to see me, you can find me on Facebook.
Amen.
Yeah. Don't ever send pictures to anybody you don't know.
I wouldn't have even responded to somebody like that. I get those all the time. It's just people fishing to try to get you to respond, leading you to believe that they're a long lost friend, and then they're going to say, "Oh, I need help. I'm stuck in this country. I need to get back to the U.S." And
apparently, this woman lives in New York. She lives in Manhattan. So, and it is New York area code. So I do believe truly this was an accident.
You can also get numbers with area codes through Google Voice or other.
Well, I understand you can do all that
from there. Yeah.
But she said she was calling from her work number, and that her friend, she must have misunderstood her friend when she got the number last.
Yeah.
And I said, "No worries."
Yeah.
Not a big deal. I think she was a legit person because then she stopped texting, and it basically was have a great day.
When the scammers know they're not going to get what they want, they're going to stop. But yes, it could have been legit, could have been scam.
I like to have, the thought process that these people do truly, they're good people and people do make mistakes,
That
her friend could have written down the number and mixed up one of the numbers, or when she wrote it down, it looked like a 9 or it looked like an 8 when it should have been there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like to look for positivity, which is where we're going. Positive people.
Absolutely.
There are good people in this world.
But you got to be careful with the scammers because they use positivity as love bombing to get you to do.
See, the problem is I know what love bombing is, and that's not going to happen to me.
Okay. All right. So let's
move on.
Segment 2, impact. What overload costs us? Segment 2 is about impact and what overload costs us. Let me ask you, babe, how has constant content changed your attention span?
Constantly, honestly.
Oh, interesting, huh?
Yeah. Say the question again, because I just had a stupid.
The question is, how has constant content changed your attention span? How has it affected your attention span?
In my life, it hasn't affected it at all.
Well, how about currently? Because it's now we have more social media and more content than ever before.
I have the ability, honestly, to
tune it out,
to look at my phone and see what is worthy of my time and what isn't. And then I close whatever isn't worthy out. I just don't go back to it. If I feel it at that time, I'm not going to take time for it, then bye. And
I've seen you actually be very good at that. I got to give you credit. I'm an honest guy, even with my own lady. And I have to say, Dawn is really good at filtering shit out. She's really good at turning things off. She's really good at not overloading herself with stupid shit. And I'm getting better. I used to be good at it. And then I became a YouTuber 8 years ago. And, I got caught up in some drama stuff. I'm not going to get into that here. I'm just saying I got caught up in some drama groups and stuff. And, during, that time, that sucked up a lot of my energy. And I was always concerned about what people were saying about me or plotting to do. And at this point right now, it doesn't even faze me anymore. You get to the point of where you realize the stupid shit is not worth your time and you learn to disconnect from it. Like you were saying earlier, babe, you've seen this past week a big shift in me disconnecting, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
You're still on your phone at night. I noticed if I wake up to use the restroom or something, you're still scrolling through it. I think more of your addiction when you're doing that is you're looking for more updates on the channels you like Brian Tyler Cohen or the Midas Touch, all of those things. And I think that's your main focus. That's what I believe. I do also think that you are looking for anything that you might need to know ahead of time.
Well, yes, what you're saying is that yes, I do follow some creators and I like getting my updates for social media and stuff. I'm also, and this is one thing we're going to help people in the new year, with in 2026 and beyond is, guarding their reputation, because reputational harm has gone through the roof on social media, especially platforms like YouTube. People will intentionally defame your character or make up shit about you because when they make it the target of their content and their audience wants, targeted content on certain people, when you're made the target of someone's content, even if they're just, trying to entertain their audience by telling them, false things about you, the average everyday person coming across that is going to probably believe that. And that can affect and will affect your reputation. So what I'm typically usually doing is, looking out on YouTube to see, if there's anything that's been put out there that could affect my reputation, yours, other people that are a part of the GNA. I'm basically doing a reputation check. And that I'll be honest with you, that's what I've been addicted to. And I don't even know if I would call that an addiction. I would call that, being smart to get ahead of what people may be plotting to do to say things about you to entertain their audience, which is not true. And, at the same time, it hurts your reputation, by new people seeing that, and then they're saying, oh, we don't want to be a part of the GNA. We don't want to be a part of Don or Eli's group because these people are saying this about him and they're showing this and they're showing that. And all of it is fucking phony baloney. Mm-hmm. So you gotta guard your reputation and protect it. But going into 2026, we're going to find a more efficient and effective way of doing that.
Yeah, we are.
And that's what I'm in the works on. Does that make sense?
Absolutely,
You're going to see
an
even huger shift
I'm going to try not to say that word again.
What?
Absolutely, because I say that way too much.
That's a great word, baby. Anyway, do you think multitasking online is real or an illusion?
Oh, it's real.
Okay.
Absolutely. I see people jump back and forth on different shows at one time. It's like 1 minute you're watching a show and somebody's on there you like and they pop off and then you're like, where'd they go? And then you go to another stream and there they are. Or they were on your stream and they pop off and you're like, where did they go? And so you look and they're like, oh, they jumped over here. So yeah. And I think you could do that a lot with comments on each show you're making. You know, I basically just do whatever I have to do on the phone and also listen to my shows. That's how I kind of do things. But
right.
But I've seen other people that are able to multitask that very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big multitasker. That's what I love about the iPhone, because everything that I look at on my laptop, I have installed as an app on my iPhone, you on your Android, and we get notifications. And we can quickly scroll through notifications, see what's important and see what's not as important, when we can filter out what we want to look at now, what we may want to look at a little bit later when we have more time, and we can just even clear what we never want to look at, right? You know, because sometimes, you know, you're following some creators on YouTube, you're subscribed to them, you get all the notifications, and you want to see certain things, but other things topographically, you know, based on their topic, you may not want to see that. But other topics you see, like, let's say you see Gavin Newsom's name in it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to click on that.
Yeah.
But if it's something about, you know, I don't know, something I'm not interested in, or, you know.
So for me, it would be like if it was a cooking thing, I'd click on it and like it, but there's no way I'm going to click on anything to look at like golf, because I don't like golf. So why am I going to even click on that and add that to what this computer system I have in my hand thinks I like? So it's going to know automatically, let's give this girl more cooking recipes, because then she's going to see things. She's going to subscribe to more of these. And, you know, that's what the algorithm does.
Let me ask you one more question from segment 2, then we're going to go into segment 3, because we are already at 1 hour and 7 minutes here, my love. How does information overload affect your creativity?
Personally, I don't think it does. Like we've said before, I have a very good separation. And, you know, I still do a lot that I believe is creative throughout the day. Whether it's, you know, my coloring, it's, journaling, it's decorating the house, you know, it's Halloween.
Right.
We have our decorations out. I mean, it's not very much, but it's like, that's the stuff that makes me happy. And I don't need the rest of the world to see it all. I don't take pictures of it. It's my house. It's my little world with my man and my dogs, and that's all that needs to see it. You know, there's got to be a level of privacy.
Absolutely. I have nothing to add to that. That was well said.
Thank
well said.
you.
I agree. Segment 3, babe, identity. Yeah. Segment 3, identity. Who are we without the feed? That's segment 3. So let me ask you, how much of our identity do we build from what we consume? That's a great question.
That's a great
That's a
question.
deep question there, baby.
Well, I feel when you're constantly consuming negative things, negative feedback to the world, negative opinions, negative, you know, things like that. I say it again because I got.
So how much of our identity do we build from what we consume? Meaning,
okay, so where I was going,
you consume a certain type of content, you begin to get hooked on it,
and then it
becomes a part of you. You become that, right?
That's what I was going on. Yeah, and then you do get to a point where you want to emulate them and be them,
right?
And you think that if you become that, then you will connect more with that creator.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that? That was well said.
Nope. I'm on a roll today.
Let me ask you, baby, do you think algorithms shape personality now. You were talking
I
about
just said that. Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Because, okay, this could work with anything, with the algorithms. I mean, you start looking at people's personalities. You start to see that. You see people's fashion. You see people's hobbies. And then you want to become like this person, and you want to connect with that person. And so the algorithm is going to see this, and then they're going to overload you with so many choices. And that's how it works, and that's why I appreciate that I can spread that algorithm out between different things that I like. So I'm not inundated with one.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, babe?
Nope.
Well said. Well said. How do you stay authentic when trends move so fast? That's a great one. Because things trend every damn minute of every day.
Yes. Words trend, fashion trends, makeup, hairstyles, shoes. It could go anything, Right. I think trends are just basically costumes. I stay true to who I am.
We're talking about trending topics, like certain events.
Yeah.
Certain events that happen through politics or on social media or whatever. I mean, anything can trend.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Anything can trend. And then you become and emulate that.
Right.
And the algorithm sets that for you. You want to become more like that person or that style.
Or we get hooked more into the story because the algorithm is going to push out more of what it thinks people are going to want to see and keeps them on their platforms longer. And that way there's more, ad revenue to be made. The longer you're on YouTube, for example, the more ads you're going to click. Same with Facebook, the more ads you're going to come across. Their job is to feed you shit that's going to keep you on there longer.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
It works more often than not, baby. Let me tell you.
I think I am like a unicorn in this, really. My major, overwhelming about content is television. And that's because I really can't control that. Right. I can control what I have. I can control my apps, control what I look at. But it's like when I have this overwhelming thing in which I love to do, that it's like I can't remember where everything is. And then I'm scrolling through each thing.
Right.
And it just gets overwhelming.
I think that happens to all of us, baby.
Yes.
I think it does.
Well, with certain things, anything.
Right. All right. Why is silence uncomfortable for so many people today, my love?
Yeah, that's funny. There are a lot of people on YouTube that'll set up a live show and it's like radio silence until somebody comments and then they're like, oh, hey, what's up? And then it's silent. And it's like, that is so exhausting. Why am I putting my time into listening to just airtime that's nothing?
Or, it's funny. There are some creators I've seen that used to create certain types of content, more outrageous type of content, and they would get a lot of attention regarding that. And then when they started shifting to non-outrageous content, that audience wasn't coming around. And then, they're desperately trying to seek that high again. The silence to them makes them feel like they're not getting validated anymore. And that leads into the next question, babe. Is the need to post a sign of expression or validation? Ooh, that's a great question. Great question.
Validation for what? Like for yourself?
That you're still relevant.
On
the internet, especially if you're monetized on YouTube or you're accepting donations,
something important.
When you lose your relevancy and people don't validate your relevancy,
then you're not going to make it on a platform that you want to expand.
Yeah.
I think other platforms, it's just not a big deal. Facebook seems so nothing. Instagram is nothing. The controversy comes from YouTube with the constant communication and comments from the rest of the world and the controversy that comes in with that.
Yeah, a lot of it comes from live streams and videos the creators make, especially if they're creating content from conflict, and they're doing that because they have an audience that will only be there to support and validate them and donate to them when they're doing outrageous stuff. And a lot of times creators get stuck in that rut where they really don't want to be doing outrageous content, but sometimes they force themselves to do it because it's the only way that they've ever been able to get validation and, get enough views and make money. And the truth of the matter is anyone, even people that have done outrageous content in the past, they can start over and do something real. Yes, the numbers will drop. The audience that was once around, possibly paying lots of money, is going to go away. But you can rebuild a new audience. It's just that these people don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
It takes work. Anyone can do outrageous content and have an instant audience and make some money, but it comes with risks. It comes with mental and emotional risks of,
could be draining.
It's draining. It's going to affect your personal life, your relationships with your family, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife,
your children,
and you risk your channels being shut down. The more outrageous stuff you do, it's a constant battle between risk versus reward, and that's why a lot of times you see people post things on YouTube to seek validation. Do you need to go?
No.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. Let's go on to segment number 4. Control, the turning point. What's the difference between being informed and being inflamed?
Wow, inflamed. Are they talking about when you get information and how you react?
Yeah, well, what is the difference between being informed by something or being inflamed? Like, if you seek out information like a news story, how you perceive that
information,
right?
Well, yeah, and then I have to take that information and decide if it makes me angry or if I'm satisfied with the information. But that doesn't make me want to, it's a matter of okay, do I like what they're saying? No. But am I going to scream? Am I going to throw things? Am I going to have a fit?
Have self-control and understand.
Exactly,
understand that some people are going to intentionally try to get your attention by creating a story to sound more outrageous than it actually is, right?
Yeah.
And that means, they're trying to inflame you. So that way they keep you around. They create a back and forth. You comment.
Yeah.
Right. And more engagement, the more better for that creator, right?
And then that's when the creator has the love bombs for that person because that person is showing interest. So now the creator is going to show that person interest and make them feel special.
Right. Let me ask you, babe, how do you decide what deserves your attention?
Based on what I like and who the creator is, what the content is. Basically, if I look at the content and I'm not interested or basically don't like the person and the content that it is, then I'm not going to do that. Okay. Why? Okay. So why would I go onto YouTube and let's say, okay, we all know I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Dodgers. Why on earth would I go onto YouTube and subscribe anything that has to do with the Dodgers?
You're right about that.
And that's what I'm saying is you should put out what you want, what satisfies you, what you can obtain from it and work with.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah. And yes, I know people. The Dodgers are in the World Series.
Yeah,
we don't know who's after today, which is Sunday.
Today is Sunday, October 19th, 2025. This show will be released on Wednesday,
by the
October
time
22nd.
it's released, we'll know. But today is the last game of Seattle and Milwaukee. So we'll know then who goes to
and we record these
who
shows,
go to beat the Dodgers.
We record these shows on Sundays. They get released on Wednesdays. Sometimes we record them on Saturdays when we have something to do on a Sunday, but they're pre-recorded. So by the time they're released, speaking about specifics is going to make less sense, but it's cool.
Yeah, and now
I get it.
Yeah, and we're rooting for Seattle.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Real quick, do you set any boundaries for your screen time or mental space? Real quick, I think you already got into that.
Yeah, basically, I don't have like specific boundaries. Like, I don't look at it from a certain time to a certain time. I just, like I said, it can go off a couple times, and I'll wait for it to go off like 4 times before I check it. So I don't regulate my screen time because I already know it's not my favorite friend.
Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
I'd rather use my phone to call my friends and connect to them than just secretly like troll their life.
Okay. Final question in this segment, and then we're going to go into a couple in segment 5, and then we have a total of 3 Reddit postings. We may only get through 2.
So what I'll do?
So we'll have you take your bathroom break after segment 5.
Right before Reddit's.
How can creators model balance without losing engagement? I was just talking about that a second ago.
Yeah.
I've talked about that a lot on the YouTube end of things on our channel outside the podcast, but we'll keep doing stuff like this on the podcast because it's important. How can creators model balance without losing engagement, babe?
Well, they have to create a show that can reach out to both sides of what the show is. So, for instance, like you will put out something that is kind of basically right in the middle, like, of certain opinions, like let's say in a government situation, okay? And then you could have people like Sandra and Tia and GLM in your chat for the right side, and then you have like ODN and us in there on the left, but you bring us together and nobody's arguing.
That's a good point. And to add to that, News Nation that Don and I love to watch, especially the Cuomo show, Chris Cuomo. News Nation, Chris Cuomo always says, welcome to News Nation where right and left come to be reasonable, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about disagreeing. We're all going to disagree on stuff, but it's how we disagree, respectfully or disrespectfully. And we need to have more engagement. We need to have, more people talking and sharing their thoughts. People nowadays feel afraid to share their thoughts, especially politically, because they fear being attacked by the opposite party, the other side, right?
Yes.
And that's not what conversation's all about. Conversation is about, you sharing your opinions, me sharing my opinions. We can agree on stuff, disagree on stuff, have a conversation. We can learn from each other. At the end of the day, walk away
and you don't have to be petty about things.
And we don't have to be petty. We don't have to attack people. But the reason why people attack people nowadays on social media, even if they want to be reasonable, is because they know being reasonable gets them less traction.
Yeah.
The outrage is what gets the traction. So that's why even if people want to be nice, I've heard people say, oh, I'm a nice person. This is just my online persona. Well, this is what I know about you. I don't know you off of YouTube or off of Facebook or wherever, right? But
so I make my decision of who you are
based on how you present yourself.
Exactly.
So if you're going to present yourself as a phony just to create outrage because that's what's going to get you more clicks and donations, then I just don't respect that.
Well, that even goes just to the world in general. If you don't put any effort in to yourself and what you stand for, then nobody's going to take you serious. If you walk in, let's say you walk into a courtroom dressing like a slob. Do you think anybody in there is going to take you serious?
Probably not. You should always walk into a courtroom dressed professionally, or even if you're,
at a job interview,
or even if you're joining court virtually. Nowadays, a lot of courts allow, Microsoft Teams and Zoom and all that. dress the same way as if you were in the court. I mean,
well, yeah. Yeah, no, and that even goes for like job interviews. Don't walk into a job interview with shorts and flip-flops expecting to get anything.
And don't go into a courtroom wearing a plaid shirt.
I
mean that's
I used the example, but I didn't go into detail.
That's all good, baby. It's like I would never ever go into any professional environment, let alone a courthouse, wearing a plaid outfit or a plaid shirt. I just don't know what to say.
I just have to stop you there and say I would never own a plaid shirt.
I used to. Here's a funny story, baby. When I used to work for Costco back in the days, I had a few plaid shirts, and I would wear them while I was working the check stand, being the cashier, right? And my friend Brett used to work there. I got him a job there after I got a job there back in our younger days. And him and some other people, when I was wearing the plaid shirt, they used to call me the Brawny Man. Remember those Brawny?
The Brawny commercials.
Remember the Brawny towels? Like, I don't even know I think they're still around, but I don't see their commercials anymore.
Well, because we don't watch commercials.
Right. Maybe people, you can look it up on YouTube. Look at the Brawny Man with the plaid shirt, right? Like a reddish plaid shirt, right? I used to wear the plaid shirts, and they used to call me Brawny. And after a couple of weeks of being called Brawny, I'm in my early 20s, right? At that point, you don't want to be teased. It's harder to take criticism, right? It's about your image and all that. I retired all of my plaid shirts. I've never worn a fucking plaid shirt.
That's funny.
Since that time.
That's funny.
They used to fucking call me Brawny.
But you know what? I don't know if I would take that as an insult because
no, I'm laughing at it because it's fun. I'm 50.
Well, it's funny, but the Brawny guy's not a bad looking guy, and he's kind of manly, know.
I understand, but when you're 21 or 22 years old, and it's all about teasing and shit, and you haven't figured that out yet, right? You fucking fuck.
You haven't figured out how to turn it around to benefit you. Yeah, that's the thing.
Fucking Brawny Man, motherfucker. What, it's like.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
I'm 30 years older, baby, and if people want to call me the fucking Brawny Man, well, here's the thing, babe. I honestly, I think the only time really plaid should be worn is maybe like in sleepwear and stuff or around the house. I just think I just think plaid shirts are just out. I believe when you're out in the forest cutting lumber. I believe they keep you.
If you're Paul Bunyan,
they keep you warmer. I believe that's why they're.
Well, they're insulated.
They're insulated better, right? So I can understand that, right? But there are non-plaid, outfits that can keep you warm. I have not worn anything plaid in 30 fucking years.
I've never.
Well, good for you. High five to that. Double high five to that.
My mama knows better than put anybody in plaid.
Right. Real quick.
That's what poor people wore, is what she told me.
Okay, segment 5 solutions, finding calm in the noise. What does a digital detox look like for you personally? Real quick, babe.
Well, I think we've all heard my detox is just leaving it alone. But I think it would be great if even a digital detox from everything, television, phones, computers, anything that does with the internet, just shut it all down. And you just detox from all the noise. That's what it is. It's the noise.
Okay. I agree. I have nothing more to add to that. See, here's the thing. For me,
I'm a good test taker, right?
Well, absolutely.
I'm answering these questions very well.
It's never been about, I think you're learning more now that you've been dating me over 4 years and you've become an actual content creator with me. Initially, it was different, but I think you're beginning to see that for me, it's not always about me having to have a response or better response. And a lot of times, if you say everything that I was also going to say, I'm like, I can't add to that. That's exactly what I would have said.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Yeah. And that's why if you've noticed these shows, because it's the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, your name is first. That's why I'm asking you the questions. And then if you leave something out, or if I feel there's something to add that you didn't mention, I'll just throw it in there.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Let's continue. Let me see here. I'm going to ask you a few more of these questions here. How can people reconnect with real life without disappearing?
Go outside.
What's that?
Go outside.
Yeah.
It's the first way you show you haven't disappeared in this world.
Get out of your fucking house. Get out of your chair in your room.
Go visit some friends. Go to a park.
Go take a walk.
Yeah, go to a park.
Like, combine it. Do what I do. I've been doing walking. I'm like at 1,150 something episodes of Walking with Purpose. I've been doing it for like 5+ years. I've done over 1,150 episodes. And I take a 3 to 4 mile walk almost every day, if not every day, 350 out of the 365 days out of the year. I'm walking, but I'm also creating content, and I'm getting out of the house to do it.
You're multitasking.
And that's a great way to multitask right there.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing me do more streams for my walks in the studio. I'll do an in-studio stream every now and then when necessary, and I'll get back to doing them and other pre-recorded content. We'll be doing that in the new year. But the Walking with Purpose streams serve a dual purpose. I get out of the house, I get my vitamin D, I get my exercise, and I'm also doing an informal
and working
live stream and working, and it's all good. It's anything else you want to add to that?
No.
How can we make calm content more appealing to watch, babe? How can we make calm content more appealing to watch? This has been our problem. We technically are here to create calm content. It always hasn't been like that. It always hasn't been like that, which is what I'm trying to say, but that's what we want to do. Basically, what the question is, how can content that is not outrageous yet still valuable be more appealing to watch? That's a great question.
I think it's all in your deliverance. It's your deliverance of the information. The way that you act on camera, or even just talking like here on a podcast.
How about your energy level? And
your energy level. If you're just na 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 na, who wants to listen to that? Put a little like change,
blah blah blah, right?
Change your voice a little bit. Put some personality into it.
Put some umph into it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
One final question, babe. If someone feels completely overloaded, where should they start?
Shut it off. Shut it off. You know what? The best place I can go, just shut that off, is mom and dad's house. Up in the mountains, no hustle and bustle, no real life. I'm not working. Eli's not working. Well, he won't be working there anymore. But yeah, it's honestly.
I've been banned from bringing my phone to Dawn's parents' place. I'm not allowed to have a phone there. I have to drop it off at the front gate to her mother. I have to surrender my iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people laugh at that like, oh, Eli has to give his phone away. But you know what? I mean, if that's how we have to get back over there where they can trust him, that's what we'll do.
I think you know what we'll do the next time we go there? I think we'll get your mom, your dad, and you and I in a round table and do a live stream with everyone.
Oh my God, my mom and dad would never.
I think that would be great to get Mr. and Mrs. Ledgerwood. On the
yeah.
podcast.
Why don't we add Mama Melas? You think Mama Melas would do that?
Oh, she would say, I hate these fucking YouTube.
I hate these fucking YouTube. I hate the YouTube.
Oh, this YouTube. She watches Greek stuff on YouTube.
But she hates the YouTube.
You know what she hates about YouTube?
Drama.
She hates the drama. She hates the drama. And
she gets her drama from Greek soap operas.
Right. But that's like scripted drama on a show.
Which is how you should watch it.
Right. She hates the real fake instigated drama for profit, for outrageous content and profit on YouTube that many creators, do, because the only way they can get traction and make money is through selective outrage. But anyway, anything else, babe?
Nope.
All right. So you're going to take another break. We are at 1 hour and 34 minutes. I'm going to turn off the camera and Dawn's going to go step away and take another break. And then when she comes back, we're going to get into at least 2, possibly 3 Reddit postings, depending on how much time we have. But while Dawn is gone, let me remind you folks once again that if you're listening to us on the audio-only podcast network, such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible. Amazon has the music and Audible, both, pumping out podcast feeds. Same with YouTube Music. YouTube Music has the audio-only version of our podcast. If you're there or on one of the many other not as popular or unknown podcast networks, by finding us doing a Google search for Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, you can go below the description section of any one of these audio-only podcast sites, and you'll see the link to our YouTube video of the same exact podcast. It's just video along with the audio. We actually record the video with audio, obviously, and then we just extract the audio for the audio-only podcast. You can go below in the description and click on the link. That'll take you to that current, podcast video version on our main YouTube channel, G&A Genuine Personal Development. Subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. After that, you can go below in the description a couple lines down within that video, and you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming YouTube channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. Make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select the notifications there so you don't miss anything. We do, if not daily, almost daily, Walking with Purpose live streams there with myself. Sometimes Don joins me. Sometimes we do in-studio live streams. Now, we may do an occasional live stream from the studio on the main channel, G&A, Genuine Personal Development. So, you want to subscribe to both channels and you won't miss anything. We're going to be doing our short videos on the main channel. Make sure you subscribe to both, and that way you won't miss a thing. Don is about to get back in here. You see beautiful pumpkins on the screen there. I used to love the pumpkin patch. We have a pumpkin. We have pumpkin patches locally here in Half Moon Bay, about 20 minutes away, going over the hill towards the coast.
Can we go?
You know what? Maybe we will go this year. Maybe we can record a video out there in 4K. That'd be great.
That'd be beautiful.
That would be fantastic. Okay, Dawn is back.
I'm back.
I think we are in sync. All right, we're good. All right, so let's get to the first of potentially 3, but at least 2 Reddit postings regarding this topic similar to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and switch on over to the browser source here. And this first posting is from the subreddit r/social media, and the original poster's title is, "How do you guys feel about the current social media ecosystem?" I just feel like social media has become more toxic, more filler content, more repetitive, too focused on AI. And I think we're kind of ignoring the effects this is having on people. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about this? How do you guys feel about the way things are now? Please feel free to share your thoughts. Every professional opinion or not matters. Thanks a lot. What are your thoughts about that, baby?
What is the problem? I'm.
What's that?
What is she asking exactly, or he?
Do you need to repeat it again, baby? Pretty much, it's basically, how do you guys feel about the current social media ecosystem? Social media has become more toxic, more filler content, more repetitive, too focused on AI, and I think we're kind of ignoring the effects this is having on people.
We are ignoring. Yes.
How are you guys feeling about this? How do you guys feel about the way things are now?
I feel that it's good to have feeds like on my Google. It's good to have that to get actual news updates. You don't see too many of that in the other social media aspects other than YouTube. And I find, I go more to Google to get actual information. A lot of YouTube things are speculations or they're absolutely false. Especially if it's something about like a celebrity dying or something.
Oh yeah, there are those fake postings just to get engagement, and those
Yeah.
eventually get shut down.
Yeah. And so, it's just like I started like, oh, I'll see one story and I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of great. That celebrity did that. And then it's like 2 streams later, oh, this other celebrity did the same thing. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, it's those things I don't like, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I totally agree with what you're saying on that. Let's read a few comments here. Let's see. Charles in the Woods says, I definitely agree on the filler content. I run the socials for a ski shop, and the current state of social media is a mess. They switch from chronological feed to algorithms, and everyone trying to copy TikToks. FYP has resulted in an increase in bland filter content to accounts. I think you meant to say so accounts can stay in the algorithm. I've noticed this a lot with podcasts increasingly pumping out clips from their shows. It is clear that AI cut these clips up, but it doesn't matter because everyone is increasingly pumping out content, even if it's bad, so they don't fall behind. That is true. I feel like social media is becoming a marketing platform. So I feel social media becoming a marketing platform was a mistake. It went from platforms where people posted fun life updates to now posts are almost entirely ads. It's not fun or personal anymore. It's ads. Well, social media to a certain extent has always been about marketing. So if you think that it wasn't always about that, then you're wrong there. But it's been enhanced since the early days 20 years ago when YouTube and Facebook were first coming out on the scene. The algorithms were not as sophisticated, and AI wasn't nearly at the level of where it's at today. So, I mean, the bottom line is that this is the way that social media was going to end up anyway. And the ads pay for it. It's free for us to use. If not, it would cost us all a lot of money, and most of us wouldn't pay for it. Or we'd have a dumbed down version that we can't do as much as we can do today. The trade-off for being able to use social media for free is the ads. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't know. What are your thoughts about this?
I don't have problems with that, but I don't like the fact that I'll be scrolling and I'll scroll through like 4 or 5 ads before I'll actually see a posting from somebody I know.
Sure.
And that's the problem. It's just being inundated. It's not when you scroll through, you got 5 or 6 postings of your friends and then you've got one, ad in the middle of that. And then you go on with more from your friends and then boom, another ad, which is kind of like YouTube. When you do have ads in there, it'll just kind of stop, pop the ad in, and go right back, So kind of like a commercial. It's exactly a commercial like on TV.
I agree with you, babe. The thing is, yes, I get inundated with ads too. We all do. But I have learned to just filter them out, scroll past them quick, and move on.
I do the same thing.
No, I know you do. I'm just emphasizing it that, look, you're in control of what you want to allow to suck you in or not. If you have to scroll through a few ads to get to the actual content, that's not that big of a deal as long as you don't make it a big deal. Yeah, it can be a little bit annoying, sure, but what's the trade-off? Charging us all $20, $25 a month
to have Facebook?
To be on Facebook, another $20, $25 to be on YouTube, right? Then we're spending another $300 on content each month, right? Or $200 or $100 in content each month on top of streaming services, on top of cable. Like this is a fair trade-off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like what you're discussing before with the different streaming services is paying a little extra for no commercials.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And quite honestly,
it's worth it.
The ad plans where the commercials are showing, they make the companies more money than even having an ad-free plan. The reason why they have the ad-free plan is because some people will only buy ad-free plans. So they're trying to make revenue from both ends. But like, let's say, one platform you pay $10 for, one streaming platform is $10 with ads, $20 without ads, right? The $10 plan with ads is going to make the company more money than the $20 plan without ads.
Yeah.
Because you're showing more ads constantly, right? But again, some people will not buy the streaming service with ads, only without ads. So,
and I know this on Hulu for a fact. There are shows on Hulu that have an actual commercial at the beginning of the program. And there's a program I'm watching now that it has one right before the show starts. And then right when the first commercial break would be, you get a commercial and then you only get one, but then you go right back to the show and then there's no other commercials.
Right.
So that episode right there, they're making money off the 2 slots for those commercials.
Absolutely.
So that's how they kind of stay afloat with, and Grey's Anatomy does the same thing, I think I said.
Okay. Let's go to the next comment here. This one is interesting. Butter my pancakes, please. That's a great username. Also, the monetization, like on one hand, people should be paid for the content they create. On the other, it's exhausting that people are motivated to do anything to increase engagement and thus revenue, meaning they're going to create more outrageous type of content.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I don't agree and I agree. I do think that creators should be paid like maybe a base rate for their content, like they get a certain amount just for putting out the video.
We do. That's called ad revenue. When you get to that stage. On
YouTube. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We have YouTube Premium. That's why you never see ads. And for people that have YouTube Premium that watch content on a monetized channel that has ads turned on, they get part of the YouTube Premium revenue from people that aren't getting ads because they're paying to not get ads.
Yeah, because when you and I started dating, YouTube was non-existent in my life. So I just had regular YouTube.
Yeah, with ads.
And then, with ads. And then when I started dating you, you automatically upgraded me.
I switched my premium plan to a family plan. Now the whole family's on.
Yeah.
It's pretty good value. I think it's like $22 a month. And it's like you can add your whole family on there. And it's, it's pretty cool. It's made rage bait and lazy content the status quo. It's so messed up. So again, it's exhausting that people are motivated to do anything to increase engagement and thus revenue. It's made rage bait and lazy content the status quo. It's so messed up. That's the outrageous content we've been talking about. Chris Cuomo's been talking about that on News Nation. And this is what we're trying to help people get away from and make, platforms like YouTube and TikTok and other video and social media platforms more positive, right?
Yeah. It's like on Facebook. I know there can be a lot of negativity in comments and a lot of positivity in comments, but I don't find on Facebook that even the negative comments are nasty or evil. It's simply an opinion. And that's how it should be. It should be an opinion, stops there, you listen to the other opinion, and you talk it out. That's what I respect there. On YouTube, however, if you don't like somebody or you don't like something that they do, or you've heard a story about them and then that's who they are as their character, I think that this is out of control. This is out of control. These are people that don't know you.
Right.
That are making opinions about who you are and how you live your life.
Well, they don't know us, but they're using, okay, how do I say this the right way? When people target someone, especially if it's someone that their audience wants a creator to target, okay? And that's what gets them attention by creating outrageous content on a specific target, let's say one person. That's what they're going to do to make money. And in that case, you have some options. I'm not going to get into that here today. I've talked about it in the past, but that's very just crappy type of content. That's like,
when you just focus on one individual every day, then you really don't have any content. You have no imagination. You don't know what to talk about.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is the lazy content and rage bait type of content the commenter was talking about. It's become the status quo because it's the easiest way to make money quickly. Now, is it sustainable long term? For most people, no. Some people, like, people like running a TMZ type of channel, it might be sustainable long term for some people, but for most people, it has a limited shelf life. And if you continue to choose one person as your target of content, and then you start to make lies and defame their character just to keep your audience around and keep the donations coming in, eventually you're going to end up in court in a defamation suit. So you got to take all of that into consideration, the risk versus reward factor, right, babe?
Yeah, and more on just the personal level versus that like court level or whatever you want to call it. I've noticed frankly on both platforms that people react more to negativity than they do positivity. On Facebook, people, if they're going through something or if they've done something or something was done to them,
gets more attention.
People comment. But if like something bad happens to you, you broke your arm, okay, you get tons. But when you have a happy moment, you get very little comments. You might get a couple little congratulations, thumbs up, but it's not nearly as, flooded as with the negatives.
Right. Well said.
And that's because we've got a lot of keyboard warriors.
We absolutely do. I'm going to read one or two more comments from this posting here. Oh, let me see here. Did I not, give me a second here. Give me a second here. Boo-doop, boop, boo-doop, 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 boo. Okay. You know what? I forgot to, when I did the upgrade to Windows 11, I forgot to increase the font size within the browser here, but I just did that. I just did that on the fly, and people will be able to see it now much better. Okay. Here we go. Let me see here. I feel like a big problem with social media is how easy it is to just copy and paste someone's viral video onto another platform and make money from that. I see it a lot where viral vids are clipped with someone else's video, or it's just straight up copy and paste. Is this a thing you see often too, or am I crazy? No, the thing is,
happens all the time.
I've seen monetized channels on YouTube copy another creator's TikTok videos, and then they go viral, and then YouTube pops them for reused content. YouTube is very good at catching reused content. And I think most platforms are getting to that level. So that happened, and people were getting away with it. So what did companies do? AI is top notch nowadays. They added that to their algorithm, and now a lot of these platforms, they intermingle stuff because they want to have protection from copyright. Because the bottom line is, they gotta do their due diligence to stop this stuff. It's not right, and in addition, it's not legal. It's fully illegal to download someone's 1 minute TikTok and post it on your channel as a video or YouTube short, and then get millions of views and make thousands of dollars doing that off of someone else's work. I've had my content stolen constantly on YouTube, and I've been handling that over the last several years. This has been a problem, and this is nothing new. And it's gotten worse, but the social media companies have gotten better at combating it. And I'm sure in the future, it's going to get even more and more difficult to pull stupid shit like this. Any thoughts real quick before we move on?
No, I agree with you.
One more here regarding this one. Gabriella Traveler says, it is funny to think how social media started as a way to connect with friends, but has become a giant machine that sort of tricks us into coming back for the same bland snack over and over. The repetitive content you mentioned is wild. I see the same TikTok trend or AI meme a dozen times in an hour. Absolutely. I mean, you see repetition is the mother of skill.
That's how it goes viral.
Well, that's how people eventually see it or remember it, right? It's the amount of repetition. You put it out there one time, it's not going to really get any traction usually. There are moments when a post cuts through and feels real or funny or even moving, but it's rare. It sometimes feels like the algorithms are training us more than we're training them. I do worry about what it is doing to our attention spans and mental health. When everything starts looking and sounding the same, it gets harder to even know what matters. And then you have AI both causing and multiplying that sameness. I keep thinking about logging off completely, but then I remember it is the main way I keep up with people who live far away. We all do that nowadays, and that's a good part of it.
So many times I've thought about closing down Facebook, but then I thought, oh, I've got family back east. And I don't get to see all the pictures. And even my nieces and nephews and other family members, I don't see very often that are here in California. I get to see them grow. And that's why I was like, I don't want to miss the pictures. I don't want to miss all the special times.
Right.
I wish I could just set a filter that gets rid of all the negativity.
Right.
But, so I obviously decided to keep it for the positivity that I could find on there.
Absolutely. And again, the reason why you're seeing this type of content pushed up in the algorithms and being repeated more than others is because the way social media companies make money is by keeping you on the platform longer. And what's going to do that more often than not is outrageous content. They know that. The social media companies are the ones that are amplifying the outrage for more profit. And until there's a big change here in the U.S. through Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which makes social media companies immune to the content that's posted. They cannot be sued for defamation. They cannot be sued for copyright. They have to do their due diligence to try and stop it, but you can't sue them over it. You can try, but you're not going to win. You're going to lose. Section 230 covers them. We need to change that to at least put some of the responsibility on the platforms so that way they can think twice about amplifying outrage for profit. But at the same time, if they do that, how much money will they lose? Will they go out of business? Will we no longer have YouTube, Twitter, Facebook? What's the fine line here? What is doing the right thing gonna cost us? Does that mean we go back to having no social media?
Mm-hmm.
How would we live nowadays? And we could, right? But how would it be and feel nowadays if we didn't have social media? I love YouTube. I love creating videos. I love being able to be my own television studio out of my own home, right? And the bottom line is that if that's taken away, then I'm going to feel like, I can't do my purpose.
Yeah. I've thought at times, not even about my purpose, but in a situation where you cannot have your phone for a certain amount of time or whatever, I get a little anxious, if I can't have my phone. But in essence, I probably wouldn't even touched it in the 4 hours that they were going to take it away, I think it's just fear for people, just that FOMO and just afraid of letting it go and missing out on something, I think everybody needs to do a digital detox at least once a month.
Absolutely. I'm not going to go into the other two Reddit postings I'm going to go into. They're pretty long. I'm going to save those for another time because we have already said so much about this topic. We're at 1 hour and 58 minutes. I think we're just going to head into final thoughts and then wrap this baby up. And then we will do another segment with those postings. They're really good postings. They're just really long. And these two postings will take at least half an hour to 45 minutes between the both of them.
Yeah, we might do that and not have the questions and answers as much as long. Maybe a few questions and answers and then go into those Reddits.
Oh, absolutely.
They're very long.
And the thing is, the reason why I've been structuring our shows and we've been structuring them the way we've been doing them with more questions outside of the Reddit postings or other supporting content is because we want people to see that we're real. We're not dependent on reading articles to have content. We have our real opinions and we come up with the questions on our own and we're real here. We're not trying to copycat, but in addition to sharing our own thoughts, we want to show you how that compares to the rest of the world. And Reddit's a really good place to do that, don't you think, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your final thoughts, baby? Final thoughts before we wrap this baby up here.
Final thoughts. Again, great show. Very informative. I enjoyed it a lot. I found it very relatable. And the fact that we could separate the fact that the way I'm overloaded by what I do, which is not primarily my phone and the apps on there, where it comes mostly from my TV and dealing with that. And I appreciate everybody out there that's like patient with the fact that I don't have a lot of exciting hobbies, but still that's who I am. That's what I have. And, and then you were able to express how it's affected you a lot on the internet.
Right.
So it was a good way to see both sides of it, and maybe out there you can look at how it's affecting you more and maybe where you need to make some cutbacks and adjustments.
Absolutely. You can say it, babe.
What?
Absolutely. That's one of my common phrases I use. I repeat absolutely twice.
I think I picked that up from you when I started dating you.
You did?
And so, yeah, now I just say that, just like I say a lot of inappropriate words.
Well, I don't know if I'd say absolutely is an inappropriate word.
No, I'm saying there are other words that I've picked up from you that aren't, podcast allowed.
Podcast friendly, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just leave it at that. Anything else, baby?
No, I think we got it all, and
I'm
appreciate
share my closing.
Well, that's fine. I'm finishing mine.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just want to say appreciate y'all for watching. Share this video or the podcast out. Let your friends and family know. And like I said, contact us through Eli's email and give us suggestions and your thoughts, and we'll get back to you. Now, I'm done.
Absolutely. Well said, babe. Well said. I'm just going to wrap up by saying maybe the world doesn't need us to consume less content. It needs us to consume more consciously. Just think about, what you're consuming, talk to yourself in your head. You can talk to yourself out loud if you want, if no one else is around. If you're around a girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, you're not going to want to do that in front of other people. But when you're by yourself, talk to yourself and say, hey, what am I looking to consume today? What do I want to know about? And set filters in your head. So when you're scrolling through feeds or looking for stuff on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, have an idea of what you want. And if it's something that doesn't pop up or you can't find, or if something different pops up, you can just, skip right through it and get to what you want. And if something is there or something isn't there that particular day that doesn't work for you, you can just turn it off or go and do something else, right?
And you know what I do? Because I watch a lot of programs, like I said, a lot of them can be very intense at times. So then I will stop that because my emotions of the content, come over, and so then I'll just watch something lighthearted. Like on the weekends, I'll watch, I'm watching Chopped right now, and it's just mindless, fun TV. And so that's how sometimes I come down from that content overload.
Yep. Anyway, I'm Eli and that's Dawn, and thank you for taking on the world with us today. Stay grounded, stay aware, and keep breathing above the noise, baby. With that being said, baby, it's time to start wrapping things
up.
All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This was episode number 31, Drowning in a World of Endless Content. I think he may have to go use the restroom, huh? The dog.
Yeah, the dog is like all over me right now.
It's all good. Let's finish this up and we'll take him out. Great episode number 31, Drowning in a World of Endless Content. Now, let's remind everyone one more time before we wrap this baby up here that if you are listening to us on the audio-only podcast networks such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, your very favorite, baby. iHeartRadio with a smile, Amazon's Audible, or even YouTube's Music, or anywhere else where this is hosted by even the unknown podcasting sites. You can find out by, Google searching Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. Wherever you're consuming this audio only, look at the description section. You'll see a link there to the YouTube video version. Click that link. That'll take you back to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. When you get there to GNA, Genuine Personal Development, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. Also, when you're watching the video there, in that description section, go below there. A couple lines down, you'll see the link to GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we do live streams daily, if not almost every day. I do Walking with Purpose streams. Sometimes Don joins me, or sometimes we do other live content in the studio or from the couch or from the car. Sometimes Don joins me, sometimes she doesn't. Make sure you subscribe to both channels, and then you'll get everything. With that being said, baby, it is time to go. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, what, baby? Be
good
to each other.